And we are live. Hey, what's going on, good people? It's a pleasure to be back for another week and another episode of Homebuyer Academy Live. Unfortunately, my co-host Maurice Jones can't join us today because he's trying to win this Daddy of the Year trophy. I got it nice and snug on the mantle right there, but he's trying to wrestle it away, doing all kind of amazing things with his children. So big up to him for that. But too bad he couldn't be here to join us today. But we have some very powerful things to talk about today, guys. Very powerful things. I'm going to give you some updates on the market. I'm going to give you some updates on some things that have been working for different clients, and also just give you a sense of, oh yeah, the things that you want to be mindful of in this season of home buying. So before we get started, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share this with somebody who you know wants to buy a house in 2025. And also take some time right now to join our home buying community, 2025 Home Buyers Club. So, our goal is to help over 200 people become homeowners this year. And we are doing a really good job so far, if I may say so myself. Our team is really focused on helping people in the holistic process of the home buyer journey, everything from mindset to money to being able to have the right team in place to help you to negotiate and handle all of the ebbs and flows of the home buying journey. So, if that's exactly what you need right now, if that's what you want in your life right now, you are in the right place. And I want you to go ahead and lean in and get settled into this so that we could really, really take it to the next level. What I'll ask as well is I'm gonna have my phone up because we're on this restream thing, and I'm like a dinosaur. I don't know anything about this technology, but it works. So I want to be able to reply to your questions and reply to your comments in real time because there's nothing better than being able to use real life case studies to demonstrate how this process could be one that could change your life forever. And that's really a serious thing. When I say forever, I mean forever, forever, ever. Yes, that's the power of home ownership. So before we run off, what I love to do and what we love to do when we get started is just to take a minute and to just get settled into this moment. I know it's 7 o'clock, after 7 o'clock right now. So you've had a heck of a day up to this point, as have I, right? And for us to really connect to the magnitude and the intentionality around this process, I want to just take a second to just slow down and just stop and take a breath, right? And disconnect from everything else going on and really just center in, focus in on this moment so that we could really have an exchange that's going to support you. And tonight, I'm looking forward to being able to walk through questions and concerns that people may have. But let's go ahead and start by stopping. And in this moment, what I want to do is just have you take a look at something that you're grateful for in your life, something that you're grateful for about today. And I'll go ahead and share. So I had a wild day, right? But I'm grateful for my babies because in the midst of the madness, when I come home through those doors, every single day, no matter what happens, I could be coming home from being on the road all day. The baby girls are like, Daddy. I could go to the mailbox, they come, Daddy. And it just lights me up, man. And we got to really embrace those little beautiful things in our life. And that's the thing that really has me like geeked up, man. I'm so happy to be a father. I'm so grateful. So yeah, that's my gratitude, and I invite you all to share your gratitude in the comment.
Well, I'm coming off camera real quick. I know I can't cam up, but I figured I could at least let my voice be heard of what I'm grateful for, since I'm working the back ops. But I'm so grateful for this mission that God placed on our hearts, just seeing lives change and just seeing the impact. Like you have a vision, but then when that vision comes to life and you see people fully like grateful that you share the information and that you made their dreams come to life, man. It's overwhelming just to see how many people you can bless. So I'm so grateful that we're doing this, and I'm so grateful with the impact that we're having, and we're just getting started too. So I just give God glory for that.
Yeah, man, that's dope, bro. And that's real talk, man. Like this is mission work, right? This is real mission work because and I honor what you say, Mo. I honor that, like for real. Like and sometimes I have to take pause, right? Because I think that I have the capacity and the ability, I know I do, to work in a more high-end market. And to be honest, that's a part of my business that is we still do a lot of high-end deals, but it's not my focus. My focus is still in the community. I feel indebted. I feel indebted and deeply grateful for people who have come before me, who have gone through this journey, who poured into me. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to pour into others. So I feel you 100%, brother. Okay, I feel you 100%. So over the course of the last few weeks, what we've been doing is building up. Uh, and what we're going to start doing starting next week, we actually have a very special guest that's going to be joining us. And we're going to start bringing in different guests around the home buying process, people that you need to consider to have on your team or someone like them. We're also going to be bringing in people who have gone through different journeys and have gotten to home ownership, because I think that that's the most inspirational thing for me. Like yesterday was a beautiful day for me because I had a client that reached out to me to get help on their credit in 2020. I be having issues with these years, 22, but 2020, right? She reached out to me and we started working on her credit. And what happens to people is that over the course of the journey, there's ebbs and there's flows. So people go up and they come down, they go up and they come down. And that's really symbolic of life, right? Because we have these moments where things are riding high for us, and then we might hit a speed bump, and sometimes that speed bump could totally throw us off, right? Totally throw us off from all that we're doing. And people that way that reflects in your business, or I'm sorry, not your business, but in your home buying journey, is that your credit score could drop, or you find yourself in deeper debt that's not going to support you in the home buying process. And oftentimes people go ahead and chalk it up and say, home ownership probably isn't for me. But this client is a huge testament. And we're going to actually document her whole journey. So look out for that. That's going to be a beautiful story to watch. But she stuck with it, fam. She stuck with it. She had her lows, but she stuck with it. She had some issues with saving, but she stuck with it. And here we are 5 years later. 5 years later, she was able to overcome every credit limitation that she had, every limitation that she had. She was able to get down payment assistance, closing cost assistance. And she closed yesterday with $0 out of pocket, man. Zero. No money at the closing at all. And it was beautiful, fam. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And now what becomes possible for her and her children is a whole new world. And oftentimes, and what I'm going to talk about today is allowing the process to process, right? Today's focus is allowing the process to process. This journey has so many different moving pieces that if you allow yourself to be moved too deeply by any one part of it, it could derail the whole journey. But there's beauty in it, y'all. There's beauty in messing up and having something happen with your credit and you going through that whole tizzy of, oh, what's going to happen now? Only to see a solution arise and for you to overcome it. But what happens is that oftentimes people don't allow the process to process, because if you do, you stay connected to your support system. So what we're really good at and what we've been able to figure out, which I think a lot of companies haven't, is how do you serve and support people long term, right? Because we play the long game. Real talk, like I told you, that client's 5 years, but she's not the exception. We have a bunch of other clients that we've been working with over the course of the long haul. And the reason why that's so important is that we're in a community where financial literacy isn't really something that we came up having or knowing or even having any kind of concept of. Personally, when I made money, when I was 19 years old, the first time I made $10,000 in a month, who knows where that money was a month later? Gone, gone. And it took me a long time to really understand and value in the game of money. Because again, coming from very little or coming from nothing really, getting something, there's a scarcity. Well, okay, what am I doing? And that's also true for people with credit. You build up this credit score. Sometimes it's just by happenstance. You get a credit card and you just don't miss any payments. And then you realize you could tap into more credit. And before you know it, you got all of this debt. But that failure, right? Like I failed by blowing so much money. People fail by going into debt. People fail by doing all of these irresponsible financial things. But it's a part of the journey because once you fail, what do you get? Lesson, learning, understanding. And what we want to do is make it so that you have to take less of those bumps yourself. So now getting connected to your support cast, who's going to be there for me as I'm struggling or journeying through this process, whether it be through credit, income, down payment, all of these things. Get your team together. Start right there. You don't have to be ready to be ready to be ready to start. You don't. You need to be right where you are right now. Starting from right where you are right now, what's possible? Just start exploring it. Go on Zillow, go on Realtor.com, go on Redfin, go on these websites and just start playing My House, right? So that you can start getting the sense of what you like before you even get into the numbers of it. And once you start getting that motivation and that inspiration going, just take a look at where you are. And when we say take a look at where you are, there are going to be a few key elements of that. The first thing is go to myfico.com, right? And I'm a really big advocate for myfico.com because I think it's important for you to be able to get a copy of your credit report without getting an inquiry. Meaning, an inquiry is when you actually go to a mortgage broker and they run your credit. Now, if you want to buy a house, but you know you're not ready, why waste the inquiry? Why? Because there's a good chance that when you run your credit, your score can drop. Oftentimes it's insignificant. It's not a huge thing. And it's never insurmountable, right? Because inquiries stay on your credit for 2 years. So month after month after month, it matters less and less and less and less and less. So it's not a game killer, but you could be informed without having to take that little blow whatsoever. Go to myfico.com, not an affiliate, but they have a mortgage report. And their mortgage report is the closest thing on the market to what's going to happen when I run your credit as a mortgage broker, right? When you actually go to Credit Karma or all of these other sites, they might look good. And what's important about those sites is that they're going to give you information, which I think is very valuable, right? But if you could get more accurate information, it helps you to just get a more clear sense of what's to come and what your next steps are. So you go to myfico.com, get the mortgage credit report, link up with your boy, this guy. We'll be able to go through your whole entire credit report and give you a blueprint. What do you have to do first? What do you have to do next? What do you have to do after that? People come to me all the time with credit issues and they deal with it as if it's an insurmountable process, when the truth of the matter is that credit is so easy to improve. It's so easy only because it matters less and less and less over time. And what happens is that people have a credit issue in 2005 and they feel like that credit issue is still holding them back today. But now when they look at their credit report, it's crystal clear because they haven't done anything with credit since then. Tell me how I know. Personally, my credit was jacked up as a result of the recession, right? So after the recession, I knew my joint was bad. You know why? Because I used to get mail. I watched my mail change right before my eyes. First, I'd get the regular mail that's nice and white and Chad Murray on it, and then it would get yellow, and then it would get blue, and then it would get a darker yellow, and then it eventually gets red, right? That's when you know you messed up. And I remember calling my cousin, and I'm like, yo, Khalid, yo, man, they keep on sending me mail, man, and I can't pay it. I'm like stressed out over here because my credit is getting messed up. And he's like, let me ask you a question, cuz. If you had it, would you pay it? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I always had good, you know what I mean? You know how I stay. So if you can't do it, throw it out. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, forget about it. And for me, in that time, you gotta let me, to set the scene, at that time I had a lot of people that were depending on me, right? Like I built a huge mortgage team. We were making a lot of money, and then when the market stopped, it just stopped on a dime. It was the wildest thing ever. All of the houses that I owned, I'm now paying the mortgages out of my pocket, and I lost the house to foreclosure. So when we talk about bad credit, I was there, guys, and it was too much for me to fix from where my mind was. So I had to release it. And if your first step is having to release it before you could deal with it, because the truth of the matter is that there's nothing that comes before your own peace. Nothing, except for kids, maybe. There's nothing that comes before your own peace, especially financially, right? So if you have to forfeit having good credit to maintain your peace, it's cool because when you build yourself back up and you're strong in spirit and you're strong in your finances and you're strong, when you go revisit it, it becomes so much easier. Let me tell you why. Because with intentionality, mountains can move. With intentionality, all of your goals are just getting closer and closer and closer. It's like a conveyor belt of blessings coming your way, but you have to be ready. And when you're ready, what I want you to do, go to my FICO score. Take a look at what damage is left. And once we know what damage is left, I'm going to tell you it's just a few things that you got to worry about. I'm not even going to tell you to worry about dealing with any of the collections or real negative items just yet. No, because we'll get to those. The first thing you want to do, the very first thing you want to do is to start reestablishing credit. And this is the game changer. You want to start reestablishing credit. So go get a secured credit card. And what I'd highly recommend before you apply, ask a few key questions. And there's really just one really big question. Can I graduate with this secured credit card? Can I graduate with this secured credit card? And I'm going to tell you what that means. If you get a secured credit card, let's say $500, you want to kind of push the envelope a little bit, push the limit a little bit, because again, now we're setting up to buy a house. So a $200 or $300 credit card, it helps, but it won't help as much as a larger limit. So if you start that account with $500, and keep in mind, it's still your money. After a year of you paying on time or a year and a half of you paying on time, to graduate means they give you the secured money back, but they allow you to keep the line of credit open. Why is that important? The reason why that's so important is because now you've established a year and a half of credit now. And instead of it closing and you starting a whole new line of credit, which is going to bring you back down so that you could go right back up, because that's what a lot of these banks are doing. They suck. A lot of them are giving you these secured credit cards, and when you get your money back, they're closing the account. That's whack, fam. That defeats the whole purpose. So be very intentional about asking about that specific thing. Can I graduate from this account? Once you graduate, like I said, it's going to help you to build that credit. You're on the right track. And I always talk about this next one. The cheat code in credit that more people need to take advantage of is getting access to an authorized user trade line. What that means is whether it's your mom, your granddad, whoever it is, they can add you on a line of credit that's already established, and you can inherit that credit while they're still here. They have no, don't touch the card. As a matter of fact, if you add anyone as an authorized user, the only thing that you need to focus on is making sure that they never touch that card. They don't even know it exists. Cut it up, make a candle, do whatever you have to do to destroy that card. But once that's no longer an issue, that credit history, and in my case, I asked my granddad, he had a line of credit that was open in 1982. I was born in 83. So I had credit older than I was because he added me to that authorized user account. What do you think happened to my credit score when I was looking to buy my first crib? My joint skyrocketed. My score went up. My utilization went down. I was great because of that one account. And it's something that is a credit secret that's used to help a family build, right? And it's something that we need to take advantage of because instead of co-signing on a car or co-signing on a debt, now you're able to give a to add someone as an authorized user, so you get to bless somebody without burdening yourself. Isn't that the win-win? And if somebody blesses you, be responsible and don't try to get the account information. Don't be a scammer. Can't get it anyway. But keep the integrity about what you do. Going through the garbage, trying to no, cut it out. If someone blesses you, take that blessing, right? Without making it a burden. And again, with authorized user accounts, there's really nothing you can do. It's just, some people going to try to scumbag it anyway, but this isn't for them. Now you're on the way. You started to build that credit, but you still have this mountain of debt behind you. But you haven't really checked in on it in 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 2 years, whatever it is. When you call them up, what you think they're going to say? Yo, they're going to deal with you like a long lost cousin at Thanksgiving. Mad happy to see you. Oh, okay, great. So, listen, I know we haven't gotten a payment in 5 years. Let's see what we can do. And at this point, and I want you to really be very clear about this because this isn't something that I don't know if anyone really talks about this. When you're negotiating debt, there are a few key times of the year where you're going to get the best results. The end of the month, the end of the quarter, the end of the year. The end of the month, because they have to balance their monthly numbers. The end of the quarter, because they have to balance their quarterly numbers. And the end of the year, because they have to balance their yearly numbers. So if they're able to get this bad debt off of their books by either, selling it or by settling it, they're all game. So you could just start making that conversation and be casual about it. What happens is that people get into this position where you feel, I don't know if it's guilt, I don't know if it's a sense of fear or uncertainty, but I want you to be certain about this. You haven't paid them in all of this time. Anything that you give them at this point is gravy because a large portion of those debts are going to be sold anyway. So if they get something rather than nothing, they'll work with you. And the magic number that you want to aspire to is 33%. That's when you're really, really winning with your negotiations. If you could get to 33% or less, you've done great. Now, what that means is it doesn't have to all happen the first phone call. Let the process process. You've established your secured credit card. You're making your payments on time. You got your granny to add you as an authorized user. Your credit score has skyrocketed now. And now you're in a different lane, a different vein. You feel better. You know that you're headed somewhere, right? When you call these people up, no rush, no fuss, no pressure. Hey, I know I owe you $2,000, but right now I can do $300. Can you work with me? Oh, no. We're gonna need at least $1,700. You're nowhere near each other. You're so far apart, but you're closer than you were before because they started at 2,000 out the gate. Now they're at 1,700. Not too bad. Can't do 1,700, Chief. Is that the best you can do? Well, let me talk to my manager. As a matter of fact, let me talk to your manager and go up the line. All right, so your guy told me 1,700. Listen, I only got 300. What can we do? Yeah, that's not even realistic. Well, listen, I might be able to do some more if you could just give me a sense that we're on the right track. What can be done? All right, if all right, let's say 1,500. Are you prepared to pay 1,500? Can do 1,500, but you know what? Listen, I'm not ready just yet. I'll definitely see if I could save up some more money, more than the 300. And I want to work this out. It's not and hit. Oh, bing, 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 bing. Very important when you're negotiating debt. Don't acknowledge it as your debt, right? We all know it's your debt. but don't acknowledge it as your debt. Just because you want to leave yourself some wiggle room in case they're not giving you the results that you want and you want to dispute it, the way that you leave the door open for disputes is saying, I am not acknowledging this debt as my own, but it's on my credit report and I want to resolve it as soon as possible. It's not my debt, but I want it off of my credit. All right. And I'm willing to do what I have to do to get it gone. That way you still, and again, these calls are recorded for training purposes. Right. So now once you've established that, they can't turn around and say, yeah, you've acknowledged the debt, because you haven't. But now the process of negotiating is on. They said $1,500. $1,500 is on record. They put their notes on it. $1,500 is on record. So you go as hard as you can with your negotiations. Try to get them as low as possible. You inch up a little bit. So you might be at 300. So go up to, I can do 350. And you take these little incremental steps and let them take as many chunks down and enjoy it. Like, have fun with it, really. Like, don't take the pressure. There's no stress or pressure because it's gone already. You can't fix a bad thing. Now you're just trying to pretty much stop the bleeding. And realize again, over this time, the bleeding has already been less and less and less, right? At this point, it's just a scab. So you really not that pressed. And that's what you have to give that energy. Okay, cool. Not today. But it might take 3 calls, 4 calls, 5 calls, and you want to get them down lower and lower and lower. And once you get them to a point that you feel okay with, and again, keep in mind, there's no rush. You can't lose. David, the damage has already been done on your credit. They're not going to double damage you. They can't. So now that you're at this point of negotiation, once you get them to settle to a number that you like, so you owe 2,000. Let's say you get them down to 800, for example, right? Now you got them to 800. They're expecting one payment. This is where you hit them with the okie doke. All right, cool. Listen, I could do 800, but the best I could do is, I want to be responsible. Can we break that up into 6 payments? Oh, well, we were just doing that because I thought hey, listen, I would love to, but I'm telling you what I can do. If you could do it, I'm with you. If not, you'll get your money. I'll make a payment today. I'll make a deposit of $200 today so that we can get the ball rolling. But I need a letter showing that you're agreeing to settle it for $800, and I'll do my part. And if you could just monthly, and it'll be done. So now what you've done is you've reduced the amount of debt that you owe them, and you've started the process of paying it off. So once you settle that, now, what happens is we used to ask for what's called a pay for deletion letter, but a lot of credit collection agencies aren't really doing that voluntarily, but they're just deleting it off of your credit after a few months. Now, I tell you negotiate it because why send good money after bad debt? It's already gone, fam. It's already dead in the water. So you paying it off ain't giving you no smiley sticker on your paper. You know what I'm saying? So instead of you putting all of that money towards the credit card, you want to save as much of that so you can put it towards saving for your house, right? But whatever you end up coming out with, what you want to ask for is you do want to ask for that pay for deletion letter, but they'll probably tell you, no, we're not going to give you that, but we're probably going to delete it in a couple of months. You could live with that. You're good to go with that. So now once you settle that first debt, then go after the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And it's just a matter of being in the process and allowing the process to process. Surrender to the journey. Understand that they're not going to give you what you want in the first call, and that is okay. But keep on working at it, and you'll see the debt get eliminated and your credit score to increase consistently. But you want to start with the positive before you address any of the negative. Okay? Start with the positive before you address any of the negative. Secured credit card, authorized user account, a credit builder account. All right. But again, if you do the first two, you won't need any additional accounts because that'll put you where you need to be. And if you get an opportunity to be added to more than one authorized user account, that's cool too. And here's a really cool thing to keep in mind about the authorized user accounts. Some people have said, hey, Chad, what if this person runs up their credit card debt and now my credit gets messed up? You could always reach out to the credit bureaus, and it's very important that you get their contact information and say, hey, I want to get removed from this authorized user account. Done. Now, you can't get information about that account. You can't make any changes to that account, right? But you can be removed from the account. No problem. No problem. And that happens easily, and that could take a few days. All right. It won't. It'll probably take about a month to report, but it can happen in a few days. So now, building the credit, breaking down these barriers to your credit, and the process is processing. You just put it on simmer. You know what I'm saying? Like you cooking dinner, just make it simmer. You know what I mean? Go handle your business, come back when the pot is boiling right. That's the credit game right there. And a lot of the times, people have, in addition to that, people have high utilization. That's really the kicker. The debt snowball, y'all. The debt snowball. All you have to do is gradually pay down your debt. Gradually pay down your debt. And the first thing you need to do is stop using your credit cards, even if just for a season. Just use your debit card for this season. Because as you bring those balances down and you use your credit card, it goes right back. And now you're on this seesaw. You know what I'm saying? And depending on what time of the month we catch you, your credit could be good, it could be bad, but stop. Just chill. Step away from the credit card and let those balances come down. Let it breathe. But once you've done that now, you'll see that this whole credit trauma that you've been living in is so easily addressed. You just got to be patient and give it time and don't put it in nobody else's hands. Don't waste your money with credit repair, fam. For what? Because everything that I just told you to do, you could do yourself, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of effort. And when you dispute it the way that it don't come off your credit. No way. It don't. Fam, you're gonna send a dispute letter and beat the multi-billion-dollar credit bureaus or these multi-billion-dollar credit card companies who've been dealing with people like you who haven't paid them for decades, and you think you're gonna win with a letter? What kind of magic is on that paper? Nah, fam. Just accept the process and let it process. Take the time to negotiate the debt down instead of paying the money that you're paying to credit repair, fam. $1,000, $1,500, $60 a month. For what? Put that same money to the debt that you owe, and it's going to be negotiated down, and eventually, it's not even going to be there no more. So just be consistent with what you're doing there rather than looking for some kind of magical formula to change the game. You could change the game by yourself by just being patient and letting the process. All right. So from there now, here we are. We're moving. Credit's not a problem anymore, right? Credit is gravy. The next thing that we really want to focus on, we got that together. We got to make sure that what we're doing for a living is in alignment with our dreams. And what I mean by that is the bottom line is you're going to have to make enough money to qualify for the house that you want to live in. Now, that house might not be right now. So you got to really make enough money to qualify for the best that you could get today. Because again, people always talk about buying a dream home. Listen, don't look for your dream home in your 20s or your 30s or even 40s. Because if you're like me, your dream just gets bigger and bigger and bigger anyway. So all you want to do is get to the best you can do today and let equity take set. And once equity takes set and you have all of this equity in your property, the more equity, the more options. You could refinance and buy the bigger house. You could sell and buy that bigger house, but get into something now. Boom. What I mean in saying that is your income. We got to be very cognizant of what that looks like. So do what you have to do. Get a certificate if you have to. Go back to college. Start building a business plan to supplement your income. But keep in mind, anything business that you start today won't help you until the next 2 years once you've had 2 years of tax returns filed, which could be a supplement to your base employment. So if you are looking to buy a house and you want to be an entrepreneur as well, stay in your job until you buy your house. Unless you know that you got that Bill Gates in my garage about to make $1 billion. Just take your time. Let the process. Stay in your job. Well, I can't stand these people, but these people going to help you buy your house because once you have it documented as a W-2, it's easier to qualify than if you're self-employed. I'm self-employed. You see all this, Mike? You see all of this camera? You see this laptop? You see me from these phones and all of that? Tax write-off, fam. Tax write-off. I'm writing off everything that I can that's a business expense. And I use my business in, a lot of what I do. But when I'm looking to buy a house, I'm not writing off as much. I'm not writing off nearly as much because I need to show more income to qualify. So you got to be mindful of that as well. So do what you have to do to build up your income. Make sure that you go for a job that's going to pay you what you want. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't know whose feelings I'm gonna hurt, but hey, listen, don't go to no school, don't go spend no time, no money these years getting a job that's gonna only make you $30,000 or $40,000 a year. Fam, what's the point? What's the point? Make the sacrifice and go big. So, and I hate to say this, but it's just true. If you go to school to be a CNA, 30, 35, 40,000, you can't buy a house, fam. If you get with somebody else and you married, then yeah. But if you're gonna go CNA, go RN. If you're gonna go, just go all the way, fam. Just do it. It might be a struggle. You might have to suffer, but don't let your fear and your limitations stop your potential. If you could be a CNA, you could be a RN. You could do it. So since you can, Nike. You know what I mean? Cool. So that applies for every vein of your career. Keep in mind that whatever you make as your gross yearly income, divide that by 12. And this is just a rough number. This isn't the exact science, but close enough that you get a sense. And half of what your gross monthly income is what your mortgage payment plus all of your debt can be. So the higher income you have, even when you cut it in half, it's still more of a house you could afford. And right now, the way that these prices are going up all over the country, and even if they're not going up, let's say that they steady or they even buckle a little bit. If you don't make enough, you just don't make enough. And there's nothing that we can do to save you no more. So go make your money, man. It's there for you. Take your time, go for it, go get it. And the last thing I'm gonna leave you with is once you do these pieces and you set yourself up, get yourself a strong real estate team. The reason being is because those are the people who are going to be able to make magic happen, right? Like I had a closing yesterday, as a matter of fact. And yet down payment assistance was great and it did a lot. But in addition to the down payment assistance, we got the seller to contribute some money towards closing costs. And it turns out that the money from the seller's concession ended up actually going to paying off her car loan. It's pretty dope. She got her car loan paid off at closing. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be true for everybody or even for you, but if you get somebody that's skilled, you could have a lot more options. So shop around, speak to different realtors, find out what their strategies are. Don't settle for the person that's your friend or your hairstylist or somebody that's your mechanic. Don't do that. This is a world where you want to be with the best of the best of the best if you can. Don't settle for a family. Your mom does real estate on the side. Your mom can't negotiate, and you know that because you've been getting over on her your whole life, right? If that's the truth, if that's who your mom is, then that's not who you want to use. This is a big investment. You want to use a big professional, somebody that's seasoned and savvy. You know what I'm saying? So take the time to put this together and make the process so that you could really work towards making your home buyer goals happen. Because look, it could take you 5 years, but if it happens, it happens. And just stay tuned. I'm gonna show you that story. It's a beautiful one. You might get a little tear out the corner of your eye and all that. But yeah, no matter what your challenge is, your limitation is, there's a journey that is made for you. There are things that are in your path that you're designed to be able to overcome. They're these things that are going to help you to build such character and such quality in who you are over the course of this process that I'm so excited to see who you become as you go through these bumps and these bruises, because it's not easy, but it's so worth it. So I really want you guys to take the time. First off, go ahead, if you're feeling what I'm saying, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe on the YouTube channel and comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you didn't like. Also, let me know what you want to learn more about, because we're going to start going into some more of these market trends. Because, yo, I'm telling you, the market that we're in right now, there is so much more inventory and there's so many more options because of this inventory. But there's a blessing and a curse in it. So stay tuned, keep coming back. We're going to talk to you about everything that you need to know about every phase of this journey. And hopefully next week, our boy Mo will be back with us and our special guest. So I'm really excited to see where you're going. Please reach out to us if you need a home buying consultation. Go ahead and hit me up in my DMs, and I'll be happy to schedule a call. From there, we could just talk casually about what you want to accomplish and build a plan. There's no pressure, there's no rush, there's no fuss at all. It's just in God's time. You got to let the process. So, thank you so much for tuning in to another Homebuyer Academy Live. I hope this has been a blessing to you. And I'm looking forward to blessing you more as we go down this homebuyer journey. Stay tuned for more testimonials, case studies, tips, tricks, and skills that could help you to become a homeowner in the near future. So have a blessed night. Give peace to my boy Mo for me, please. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
All right, everybody.